Hey, my name's Brad Goff. When I'm not advancing my rap career, I'm a corporate systems engineer here at Nutanix. Today, I'd like to take a couple minutes to talk to you about our cross-hypervisor DR strategy. Now, I'm no hypervisor prophet, but there's something magical about how we do cross-hypervisor DR here. In a nutshell, cross-hypervisor DR allows us the ability to replicate from a VMware cluster to an HV cluster and back seamlessly. You might be thinking, Brad, why would we ever want to do that? Well, good question. Here's the answer. From a customer perspective, it allows them to keep VMware if that's what they're comfortable and familiar with. However, they do not have to pay that vTax for VMware on the DR side. Since AHV is completely free to the customer, it is a huge value add. Let me take a minute to actually show you how we accomplish this in Prism. Then we can talk about some of the caveats. All right, here we are. We are logged into Prism. You can see here I have my ESXi cluster and I have my AHV cluster pulled up. We're going to start off by going into the VM tab. We'll click on Table, and we'll see here that I already have a cross-hypervisor DR VM created for this. Now, a thing to note is, again, we have to have the Nutanix guest tools installed. You can see here that we have them installed and they are activated. Outside of that, we're going to go through to data protection. We'll click on Table. Now, I've already created the remote site, so we can already see that the AHV cluster that is here has been added. And on this side, it's been added as well. So now we will click Protection Domain, Asynchronous DR, and we will give this a name. I already have a DP test here, so we'll do DP test. We will select that VM. We'll click Next. We'll then give it a schedule. So we'll say I'll take a snapshot every 2 hours or 120 minutes. We will keep 1 local and we'll keep 2 remote. We'll click Create Schedule and we'll close. Now notice up top here that it does say that you have to have the NGT or the Nutanix guest tools installed. Make sure that you have this done on all of them. So I'm going to close this, and then if we come over to the AHV cluster and we go into data protection, you should see that this DP test has been created and we have a local snapshot here. So another thing to note is if we come back to the ESX cluster for this DP test, we have a migrate option, which will migrate this data over to the AHV side. And on this side, we have an activate option, which will activate these VMs that we've replicated. So wasn't that cool technology? But not only was it cool, it was also simple to set up. Now, as promised, let me address a few of the caveats. Currently, cross-hypervisor DR is limited to VMware and AHV only. Hyper-V and Xen server support are not currently available. We will include network mapping between AHV and ESXi networks. Even though virtual hardware differs between VMware and AHV, part of the Nutanix guest tools, or the NGT, is the App Mobility Fabric. The App Mobility Fabric handles this for us, so it's automatic. We can perform cross-hypervisor DR on Windows or Linux VMs with no issues. Now, one of the biggest caveats is knowing and explaining the differences between planned versus unplanned replication. For example, in a planned scenario, all virtual machines within a protection domain are moved using the migrate option. This will register the VMs from the source cluster, replicate all of the changes since the last snapshot, and register with the VMs in the target cluster. In an unplanned scenario, where a source cluster is offline, all virtual machines within a protection domain are moved using the activate option. Activating will register the VMs within a protection domain in the target cluster using the most recently available local snapshot data. Fun fact, development environments are also a great use case for cross-hypervisor DR. You can use snapshot restore to register a new VM on a different hypervisor and perform testing without impacting the original source VM. So with that, hopefully you feel a little more confident when you hop on your next customer call and you have to go over cross-hypervisor DR. I hope that you enjoy this feature as much as I have. Until next time, thanks for watching.